Hey everybody, Chad Nobody Else's Auto. We are here at Mecum Tulsa with our good friend Jim Wicks. Now, you guys know wherever we go to Mecum, we always got to catch Jim, see what's going on, get a feel for what's happening in the world, because you go to pretty much all of these.
A lot of cool cars here, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and got about 600 cars, so let's walk through and check a few out.
Well, there's a Ford.
Yeah, like 64 Galaxy, always neat cars in my eyes.
Yeah, you're a Ford guy anyway.
I really appreciate the old 427 cars, and you know, a little 394 speeds, nothing to sneeze at either.
Yeah, and that's a good looking body style.
Yes,
Always
it
has
is.
been.
Yeah. Well, the NASCAR roof line, which started in 63 and a half,
right,
to help Ford get back in NASCAR. But,
this is something else right up your alley, Shelby's. Even though this is a newer one.
Got the newer. These cars are a lot of bang for the buck, and you know, these cars have hit the point where they're never going to be any cheaper than they are today, right now.
And they're a whole handful of fun for what you can buy.
Yes, they are.
What year's this one roughly?
This is the 18.
This is the 18, so it's got a few years on it.
No, it's a GT350, excuse me. I was looked at a blue GT500 earlier.
I see. But it's not like with 600 cars, it's easy to get confused sometimes.
Absolutely.
Now here's something definitely different right behind us. Buick Wildcat.
Look at the Wildcat, yep. Now, this is a 63. I've always loved, they had really nice interiors in these cars.
They had great interiors in these cars.
This was a car, this would have been like an Impala. With the Wildcat, it was kind of like you'd have for Chevrolet Super Sport.
Yeah,
a lot of times, big luxury
car.
You could get bucket seats and console,
which this car has.
Yeah, yeah, and this has got the 4-shift and the factory tack,
and even factory air.
And that really makes it rare. And there were a lot of these cars that had vinyl tops.
Yeah.
Kind of rare to find a Wildcat without a vinyl top.
You just don't see Wildcats very often anymore anyway. I always thought they were a neat car.
Well, and look at the trim on the car.
Yeah.
It just got so much really neat, stylish stuff. Kind of unappreciated hot rod.
I think they were very underappreciated, absolutely. That's bright.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that is
a very bright, heavy pickup.
That is electric green, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And something else we're starting to see at more and more of these auctions, 80s and 90s pickups.
The really, really good ones have gotten to where pretty darn safe investment. They're holding their value very well.
And these Broncos
always good property.
And that's a great color combination on that one too. What's weird is that's not an Eddie Bauer though.
No, that's kind of a plain Jane Bronco.
It's got that darker burgundy, almost makes you think that, but it actually is not an Eddie Bauer.
Not at all. Hey, look at the Torino Cobra.
More Fords right up your alley.
All right, yeah.
So what do we got here?
This is a 1970 429 Cobra Jet with shaker hood. This is a J-code car, which by the VIN number denotes it as being a Ram Air car.
Okay.
If it would have been a Cobra Jet without air, or without the shaker, it would be a C-code car.
Okay.
And a closed hood.
Which that's a great thing about hanging out with you. We learn all that real quick. We don't have to look nothing up. You just explain it. So this is a sharp car. Great color.
And these cars have 10 years ago, you could have bought this car. You could have bought this car in the low to mid 20s, and today this car probably going to break 50 grand.
Yeah, Torinos were underappreciated for a long time.
Oh, long time, and it's not uncommon for a really super nice example to be bringing into 70 to 80 range.
And that's just for a good car, not even like a twister car.
Yeah, not. And another really neat item is those rear window louvers.
Yeah.
Set of those rear window louvers, my gosh, the guy tough to find, and the guy hunting for them. Oh my God, he'd give everything he could, all the money he could, just to have them.
Well, there's an interesting Mercury though.
Absolutely, look at that Colony Park.
That's something you don't see every day.
That was the top of the line Mercury station wagon.
What is that, a mid-70s?
That's, I believe this is like a 73. I think that grill I remember being of that sort.
Wood grain.
And wood grain.
Yep, you're right, it's a 73.
And this, I drove one of these for years as a tow car. And it was
Really?
absolutely the best tow car I ever had. The comfort level, pulled a trailer like it wasn't there. Of course, mine was lightly enhanced. It was a 460 powered wagon, and we had put police interceptor heads and exhaust manifold.
So she was breathing pretty
and a
good.
small cam and aluminum intake, and it would go down the road with about anything. In that
Well, this was actually a 429 car.
Yes, this was pre-460 in the Mercury.
All the original paperwork, Marty report, and this just looks like an original car. It's got a few chips, a few nicks.
And this is an example of some of the weird things that they did. You look at the nice blend of the white with the wood grain, and then it's got green interior. So many times these would have had a ginger or a tan interior. But I've seen a couple of them that had black interiors, and
Which would make more sense than green, but
a whole lot more sense than green.
But in today's world, this is different, which makes it unique and cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously wagons are popular anyway.
Yeah, wagons have really come on in interest, and there's always going to be a cult following for these vehicles.
Yeah. And most of them never survived. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Nobody
and this
cared.
one's an original car with roof rack, wood grain, paperwork. And you know, car, and something like this doesn't break the bank to get into.
No,
A lot
not
of
at
people
all.
don't want to come to these auctions. I can't afford $50,000 or $100,000. There's all kinds of unique stuff like this.
There's lots of cars like this that a person can go to a special interest auction and go away with a pretty neat car for way less than 20 grand.
Oh yeah, and have a ton of fun.
And a ton of fun.
El Camino.
Yeah,
These things have really come on as well.
they have.
Look at that old Pontiac over there. That's kind of a
That
different
is something
duck.
you never see. Many of these ended up in the stock car demolition derby years.
This was a 38. Already had the silver streak on it, obviously.
And of course the iconic Indian on the.
Yep, and it's a coupe. That's a pretty unique car. But yeah, there was a lot of those cars that went to the roundy round races back in the years.
Absolutely.
So what else? What's that old 63?
Yeah, there we got a 63 and a half.
Oh, it is a fastback, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know what the difference is in the 63 and the 63 and a half. And it's all about the roof line, and it was all done because of NASCAR. 63 had the what we often refer to as the box top roof, where the back glass was more straight up. And when Ford went to that style back glass in 62, they lost 8 to 12 mile an hour.
Oh wow!
At Daytona.
So big difference.
Big difference.
So that's why they had to go to this sweeping C-pillar.
Yes, they went to the sweeping C-pillar and put this little ridge in there that really looks good with the idea of a vinyl top.
Right.
But that was sort of purposeful. That was downforce.
So this ridge actually was put in there for a reason.
Yes.
It did affect downforce
affected
by
the
putting that
downforce.
one ridge in that roof
Yes.
line. I never knew that.
The difference in the air coming off and coming to here.
I mean, you've always seen it, and everybody always, aesthetically, it's pleasing. It does give a break to that roof.
Yes, it does.
But I never realized that they actually tested that, and that was in there for downforce.
This, this was one of the very first uses of a wind tunnel in automotive design for Ford Motor Company.
So, lots of cool stuff here.
Yes, there is a lot
Great
of
to
cool
see
stuff.
you as always. And let's go check out a few more cars, but let's wrap this one up so we don't get too long on it and see what else we can go find.
All right, good.
It's always great to see you. Well, and there again, we always learn something, all these, especially with Ford stuff. And like I always tell you guys, whenever Jim's on here, Jim is my Google of Ford. I don't Google anything Ford. I just pick up the phone, I call him, I say, Jim, what's the deal with this? He recites the answer back to me. I don't have to look it up. I don't have to sort through everybody else's opinions on the internet. He just gives me the answers. When it comes to Ford performance, this is the guy. So it's always fun hanging out with you because not only do I learn, but everybody learns from you. So we appreciate that.
Great to be able to share it with your audience.
So, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching this one. Stay tuned. We'll see if we can get you some
See
more
ya.
stuff from here at Mecum at Tulsa.